Welcome to the podcast Sitting Tall with me, Casey Ellen, and my buddy
Tony Chamberlain.
Tony and I met at this amazing program called Empower Spinal Cord Injury, and it basically changed our lives and it brought us together. We will be interviewing people from all walks of life, from able-bodied to disabled. We just want to break down the walls, break down barriers, and we just want to basically have people know that there's more than just what you see. We are
Sitting Tall.
Brown chicka wow.
Brown chicka brown cow.
What's going on, everybody? This is the first inaugural episode of our podcast, Sitting Tall with me, Casey Ellen.
And your boy, Tony Chamberlain.
And this is a very exciting day for us. This is day one. This is day one, Tony.
This is the whole spitting caboodle over here. We're going in. Let's go.
So, figure for our first guest, we have a good friend of mine. His name is Mr. Will Rodriguez, and hopefully we'll get him in this chat.
Hey,
Will,
there he is.
Turn the mic on. Turn the mic on, baby.
Yeah, I was waiting for like the cue. Like, hey, Will, how about you?
Casey's still new at introducing people. You know, you gotta give him time.
Listen, yeah, this first introduction, baby. Okay, we're growing together.
Right.
That's right. That's how we do, man. So, Will, welcome to the episode, man. How you feeling?
I feel good, man. Thanks for having me, fellas. I'm honored to be on the first episode here and watch you guys grow. I want to see how this turns out, like the next year.
Oh man, I'm hoping for big things between us. You know what I mean? We got a lot of stuff planned, so let's go for it, right?
That's it. We got a nice little guest list, and I was thinking when me and Tony were talking, and we wanted to see, like, I was like, you know what? Let's get a guy we could chat with, easy to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Will Smooth, and I figured I let your government out here, which is Smooth. I don't know. It's cut out the nickname's cut out. I don't see Will Smooth anymore.
I was gonna say,
Rodriguez.
First off, where does Smooth come from? See, like, I know nothing about Will, so like I'm gonna be asking a lot of questions. So where does the nickname Smooth come from?
Yeah, man. Growing up in the Soundview section of the Bronx, playing basketball with the ladies on the side, so it just kind of integrated together, and then the name Smooth just stuck and all the way through college.
I mean,
I like it.
It's a gift and a curse,
This is the first episode. I know I don't want anybody to be a Charlemagne over here and try to Charlemagne me out.
No. I support the Will Smooth movement. You know this.
Of course, man.
Like I said, I know nothing about you, Will. So like I'm gonna pretty much take the reins on a lot of things that we're gonna be asking and stuff. Like, I'm all about like I said, learning about people, talking to people. Like I know, like I said, absolutely nothing about you. So I'm excited to hear about you, your journey, what you want to do, what you like to do, how you make Case. Like let me know it all, man. So let's start you off. How did you and Casey meet?
I don't know if Casey didn't tell you. Casey was a pain in the ass when we met in college. So he was one of those those alphas that were playing on the basketball court and popular guys and everything. We're both on the same playing field. So it was one of those things we met just playing ball together, and we just connected from there. It wasn't like we just hit instantly when we met. Like, hey, how you doing? It was more like, let me try him out first. But we ended up working at the same time together.
It wasn't like an alpha dog, that kind of thing. It's like, yo, man, I see you right now.
Yeah. It's one of those things. You just look at each other, you walk by, like, you gonna say something first? You gonna say something first? I was a little rough around the edges in college, but yeah, that's how we met.
Gotcha. That's cool.
It was. I remember on the court. I think we both have a little bit of a little Napoleon complex in us a little bit.
I don't want to say, but yeah, I guess so, right?
Yeah, we're usually the shorter guys on the court, and me and Mr. Smooth, we didn't really get along too much in the very beginning.
Right.
We had a little bit of a rivalry going on because we both want we strive to be the best, and that's
alpha male trying to come through. I see it.
And then the energy just it went from that, and then the energy we just connected, and it's been fucking
right. And it wasn't
amazing.
Long that we were like,
it was maybe just like one game.
And it was like, oh, you cool.
Yeah, it was one game. We had one game. We had one game where we had beef.
Yeah.
We had one game where we had beef.
That's one.
That was one. That's all I need. Yeah, we just, I crossed Will up a little bit, maybe put it through Quinn's legs one time. Will wasn't very happy.
Mm-hmm.
And then we was like, you know what? We're buddies after that. That's it. That was it.
Yeah, good times, man. Good memories.
That's what it's all about, man. The memories. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
So you did ask me a question earlier. We were a little bit off our videoing, but on the bottom of my screen it does say why not, and I'll tell you now why I put that as my my go-ahead screen name, because it is my name backwards. A little bit about me in the background. I used to be a DJ, so I call myself DJ Why Not. So that was a little bit of background on like how it came about. And it also came about one day. Actually, the very first time it came about was somebody at my workplace was calling me that, and I was like, why the fuck do you keep calling me Why Not? Because it's driving me nuts. He's like, dude, it's your name backwards. I go, oh shit. I was like, yeah, it is. I was like, that's pretty dope. I like that. So man, from there, man, it was history.
I'm like, what kind of Russian name is going on over here? I'm like,
what was like, how do you pronounce that? It's
a
not. Oh shit. That's, man, it's fucking smooth.
Hey man, everybody comes up with something for I feel like everybody has nicknames that they get from other people and stuff like that, and I get it all the time. Like I said, when I put that on I put it on like my drinks and stuff like that. Like I'll label them like from like in a big group of people, and they're like, "Who the hell is Why Not?" And I'm like, "Yes, that would be me," and that's a good way to start a little story with somebody or talking to somebody. So that's why I do it too.
That was a little smooth way to get into with the ladies out there.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, you would you like to learn about my name, sir?
I will.
Or madam.
I will fill you right in, especially because you are definitely down my alley right now. So let's talk a little bit.
Tony, mind if I ask a question real quick?
Yeah, go for it, man. Yeah.
So I feel like the people out there who are going to be watching this, they need to know a little bit about my man Will, and I feel like we kind of bonded even more. I feel like after we both had some traumatic experiences that happened to us, and I feel like the shared trauma kind of tightened the bond a little bit, because we both kind of saw some things that we probably never wanted to see. You know what I mean? So I don't know, Will, if you want to dabble into a little bit about that when what happened in college, because I feel like that's important to you and your story, and it kind of shaped your life a little bit. I feel like from watching you from the outside.
So everybody who doesn't know, is a victim of a violent crime. Things happen. Grew up in different places and being in different circles. I was at a party one night, and things got a little out of hand. It was just like another group that we didn't know. It wasn't like any type of beef that was going on. Ended up getting stabbed a couple of times, flown to the hospital. Literally on a helicopter, flown to the hospital. Critical condition, came out of it, and then reshaped the way I seen life. I mean, obviously there's a little bit more granular than that, but that's the piece of the story right there. But yeah, it shaped my life for the better. Obviously, and Casey, I mean, both of you probably attest to this. Like, you start seeing things a lot different. Like, your perspective is different. You stop complaining about, like, bullshit, and it's like you start to cherish a little bit things a little bit more, things that you haven't seen in a different light before the incident happened. So I guess it was a blessing and a curse, because I'm here now, and who knows what would happen if that situation did happen. It sucks that it had to happen. That had to happen for me to get here, but we're here now.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that, because I was actually just chatting about this with somebody the other day, and they asked me the question about, like, if you had a chance to go back and do like everything all over again and blah blah blah, and I'm like, I really had to think about it, because obviously I would probably try to go back and change the situation of what happened, because I don't want anybody to end up the way we do, but at the same time, if I never ended up like this, I would have never met Casey. I would have never met the program that we went and met together is Empower. And I met so many great people through that. So like you said, it is a blessing and a curse. And I think that everything happens for a reason, right?
Right. And you own it too, right? And so you have to own the situation. It's like, you can't shy away from it. Like, in the beginning, it's like you can't do anything else. You just have to run towards whatever fear that you have. So
that's it. Yeah.
Right now, especially when you have the podcast, like, if your situation never happened, then we wouldn't even be here today. I wouldn't have the honor of being here.
Exactly. Yeah. We wouldn't be starting our very first episode of
Sitting Tall.
That's
that's I agree completely with both of you guys, man. It's like you just gotta own it, and you can't change the past. Like everybody always asks, like I'm like, listen, like of course, like I wouldn't want to be in this situation, but
Right.
I mean, like Tony said, like it basically changed our trajectory a little bit. Like your life's going one way, and then all of a sudden you hit that little U-turn. We're going back. We're going to make a sharp left here,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the path you're going to go on now. And I'm like I said, I'm like Tony said, we meet all these. I met so many amazing people that I would never even have came across.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, like I'm glad that I still have my people, like like Mr. Rodriguez here,
Right.
and then like I said before, I feel like our traumas kind of linked us a little bit together, because I know sometimes you call me up and you just to say what's up, just to be like, hey, Case, I'm at the gym today because of you.
Yeah, and
like
true, yeah. A lot, and Tony, just to let you know, a lot of times I'll be at the gym, right, and then I'm like, damn, I don't want to, I don't want to do this, right? And then I think of like, what if Casey was here right now? Respectfully, Casey doesn't have the opportunity to do exactly what I'm doing now. So let's just push a little bit hard for Casey. And I'll call him. I'll let him know, like, hey, man, I'm in the gym just thinking about you. I've had you were my motivation to, push myself that one extra rep, that extra mile or whatever. And it's never that bad either, right? We always put limits on ourselves. Like, all right, I'll run for 20 minutes to keep it there and I'm tired. But then it's like, why not run another mile? If Casey was here, if Casey had the opportunity right now, today, he would run another mile. Like, I'll take this, right? So that's what my mindset usually is with everything, especially when you come to my case.
And it's honestly like it's humbling when you have your friends who like hit you up and tell you something like that, because like, you never really, like, I didn't set my life out to go on
right.
be inspiring people or to like like was never like my aim. But to like when you see somebody who you like, who's your people, who's like in your circle, and you just see how much like you mean to them, and like it's humbling. And that's just, I don't really know. That's just it affects me, bro.
Put it like in words.
Don't be getting me a little. I'm trying to fight back. You know what I'm saying? I'm an emotional man. So
It's all good, man. It's all good. I love the
2023.
story, man. I mean, everybody likes that, that push that they get. It sets fire to your soul. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things that like we talk upon it, but like people will tell me like stories about things that like inspire them to do things because of my situation. But at the same time, I'm over here like, I'm not trying to inspire you, but like you can take as you please, whatever you get out of it, it's all good, because like I'm just trying to live my life the way I know to do, you know what I mean? And I push myself every day to be a better person than I was yesterday, man. And that's what I inspired to keep doing through like this podcast. Like I want to be able to reach out to people that maybe look at this stuff and be like, yo, man, I really don't deserve to be here anymore. I want to kind of just end things, but there's so much more to look forward to, and there's so many other people you can reach out to that it's not worth doing stupid things. I'm glad you guys have like a good connection. You know what I mean?
Right. And it's unintentional exactly what we're doing right now, right? Like, you just do what you do in your everyday life, and people are looking at you like, holy shit, this is great. I wish I could do it.
Yeah.
Circumstances, like we don't let our circumstances keep us down. So it's like, damn, if he's doing it, how come I can't do it? People say that like respectfully, like, hey, if Case is starting a podcast, and Tony started and I wanted to start a podcast for 5 years, how come I can't do it now? It might spark somebody else to start a podcast.
Exactly, right?
But we're not doing it intentionally. Say, hey, you can start your own podcast and do this. That may be the intention sometimes, but you can motivate a lot of people without even noticing, and they won't even tell you. All right, they'll start the podcast like, yeah, seeing you do it, but you may be the spark for them just to start something new. All right,
yeah.
That's what you, in case you're doing.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why we started this whole thing, man. We want to be able to put ourselves out there and show that like you don't have to be a hermit crab and do nothing all day. You know what I mean? There's so many avenues that you can go down and like play with and reach out to and do whatever. Like even if like you're looking at this podcast right now and you want to reach out, why not just holler at me? Talk to me. Let's maybe make it happen. Maybe we'll do a further podcast of somebody that saw this episode and was like, yo, you know what I mean? So
slide up in the DMs, like that's
right,
cool.
Right.
At SittingTall podcast. That's just little shameless plug at the bottom there. It's just
I can't wait to see how the podcast grows, because I believe in this. I'm going to tune in, obviously. But from where you start right now, this is the very first one. And let's say you get to your 25th, podcast, the 50th podcast, the growth that you're going to see, you may think this is amazing. You might look back like, and it is amazing right now, right? You're starting off really well, but when you look back, you're probably going to be like, holy shit, we didn't have anything going on. This is bullshit. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see how it grows, man. And hopefully I can be like on the 25th or the 50th, like, hey, Will's back. And I can be like, oh, look at this.
Like, look at this. Something's different here. Yeah. I tell Casey all the time, I'm like, yo, what we looking at right now? Like, I can't wait to look at it like 100 episodes and we're going to be like, dude, we were trash. Look at our background. It was so garbage. You know what I mean? Like, I can't wait for that to happen,
Yeah,
but this is the greatest thing so far.
Backdrop comes soon.
Guys, I mean, it works. I came into the room like, oh, I've never seen this before. This looks great. So I can't wait to see how you guys grow.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
So I wanted to hit on this, and I know you wanted to talk about it, Will. My man, tell us a little bit about with the little Taylor Wiz marketing. My man started his own company.
Nice.
Like, that's just, man, just to see from me knowing you, to see where like you started,
right?
That angry little dude, that angry kid.
I love how he had to keep little in there.
Well, no, because me and Will, we see eye to eye, so we're both little. You know what I mean? So just to see that angry kid that I met, and then to see where your evolution took you to this, you're a great father. You started your own business. Like, these are just like, that's goals, man. So I want you to tell the people, tell Tony.
Yeah, man. Tell me everything.
A little bit about how Taylor Wiz came about.
Yeah, man. I see. I don't even know where to start, but I guess I'll take it from after college. So obviously, the violent situation, I got stabbed and everything changes your whole mindset, right? Even before that, grew up in the Bronx, Soundview section of the Bronx. It's aggressive, a different type of environment than what people are used to. I ended up getting a job. I was dispatching for a couple of years. I was really good at it, like to the point where I started getting bored. Ended up moving into a recruitment position. I'll fast forward. In this recruitment position, it was all like, nothing was digital. It was all paperwork. You got to call people, spreadsheets. So I ended up going inside of there and literally just deconstructing their infrastructure and putting like automation in and different vendors in and having this vendor speak to this vendor. And in the transportation industry, it's not attractive at all. It's a horrible, unattractive industry. So I was a recruiter. So what ended up happening within 3 months, I filled all the driving positions, right? And it's really tough to do that. You have to have a CDL, XYZ. COVID hit, right? So even then, COVID hit. There's other businesses that were reaching out like through different channels to reach out to me. And they were like, hey, how did you get all these slots filled? Word gets around. It's a small industry, especially in New York, like the school bus and transportation industry. Ended up having put like a $90,000 deal on the table for an annual deal to go in and fix people's the businesses infrastructure that fell through because of COVID. Ended up falling into the charter school space because my sister Courtney, she runs a school in Houston. It's Bloom Academy. I was like, hey, I'll just run your ads for free. I've been doing it here. Might as well transfer it over. I'll bring some students in. Within her first year, which is what I'm about to say, it doesn't really happen much. She was fully enrolled. Right. So then, that word gets out. People are like, hey, how you fully enrolled? She's like, hey, my brother referred. It was a snowball effect. And then Taylor Wiz is born. Not to say it's like, even so, it was like, you have to understand. And both of at this time during COVID, New York was giving out huge checks. So I was getting like $1,100, $1,200 a week. Right?
Just to sit at home.
Nothing because I was taking it tax free.
Sit at home.
If I was going to die, nobody was going on COVID. So you have to understand, my first, client, I call them partners. My first partner that I signed, it was way less than that because we do monthly contracts. When you first start a business, you still have to figure out what are you going to do, the infrastructure, how much you're going to charge. So it ended up being like $2,500 a month, which is big for me. So going from $1,000 a week, which ends up being like $4,500 a month, to $2,500, and I just moved to Florida, and I had a baby, and it's like I don't know what I'm doing in my life. It's like you have to make this decision. Like, do I move forward with the business? Or do I lean on this $4,500 because you had a baby? So those are one of the tough decisions in my life. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go full steam ahead, 12-hour days, 14-hour days. I was just gorging in information, like literally gorging in information every day to try to get this marketing thing up and running, and here we are now. So that's the long-winded story of how we got started.
The gist of it. Oh, okay.
You know, it's just I love it, man. You already know how I feel about it, Smooth. I love what you do. I just love watching you grow, man. As a friend from the outside, like you live in Florida, I live in New York still, and we still stay in touch. And just watching you grow as a man, it's just it's like love seeing it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Hopefully we can get into this conversation. This is what I'd love to touch on is like the whole mindset about like running a business, and it doesn't even have to be related to business. It could be like towards anything else, like playing a sport or being a great dad or a great mom. It's like the mindset behind it. It takes a lot of work, but you guys understand, right? Because you go through like these mental battles every day, and then people think it's okay, and it's like it may look okay sometimes, but it's really tough. So. Yeah, I definitely want to get your feedback about like the mindset of what you do to like push through those times where everything seems like it's great and going on, but it's like you're like, man, I probably need some support. But technically you have to go through these motions by yourself, right?
Yeah, I tend to say that I'm a good actor. So like I put forward like I'm good, I'm okay, I can do everything myself, but basically, just trying to put that tough foot forward. No pun intended. But that's I feel like that's just everybody though. It's not just me. Like, yeah, everybody has some kind of problem or something holding them back, and they're it's all about, just like you said, your mindset. Like if you're telling yourself, look, there's a lot of shit going on in my life, there's a lot of bad shit going on around me. What am I going to do? Am I going to either push forward or am I going to let this stuff take me down? And
right.
Me and Casey both looked at it. We're like, fuck this shit. Yo, we're pushing forward no matter what's going on. And that's what I love about this guy. You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm glad that he brought me into your circle. You know what I mean? I'm glad that I met you. And I like to see the mindset that you're coming from too, because that's simply what people should do in life. I believe is like, instead of just like holding back, man, you have a bigger potential of just making yourself better. Yeah, you have the fear of like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do at first, but you got to get started. That's the first thing that you're going to do. Like, this is our first episode. Like you said, I can't wait to see our 100th episode. You know what I mean? Like, you got to start somewhere, and then that's what a lot of people need to get.
You know what I mean? Like, people don't understand how to get started, right? So that was I knew what I wanted to do, but it's like, how? And like the simplest answer is like, you just make a decision and take an action. Like, you don't know if it's going to work or if it's not going to work. Like, people come to me all the time, like Casey, Tony, all the time. Like, hey, how did you start? It's like, I want to do this. I'm like, all right, so what do you just do it?
So do it.
Exactly.
I want to do this. And I'm like, so what do? I'm like, you just told me what to do. Just go ahead and try. Right?
You're your own worst enemy. Like half the time, it's like you're the one that's holding yourself back from doing whatever you want to do. And it's just like, get yourself going. Like, nobody knows where to start, but like the whole thing is just start something. It will build off of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Start somewhere.
With that next step, you'll figure out, this is what I have to do for this next step. You just keep going, and then eventually, like, you'll start growing. You know what really fucks this up though, fellas? Is social media gives this narrative of like you can get rich quick and then do this, and then you see everybody like partying and everything.
Invest in crypto, and here's the Forex trader. Like, all right,
ChatGPT is how you make $100,000. Bullshit. Like it doesn't work that way. And
no, man, those are the people that just want you to like. They want to sell you something. They want to be like, hey, I'm doing it, so I'm going to sell you this to teach you how to do it. And most of the time, they ain't teaching you anything. You know what I mean? It's just like you're just paying them to be, to get rich, pretty much. You know what I mean? So,
and that's not the person I want to be. Like Casey and Tony, obviously, we're going to follow each other after this. Like I put on my stories. I don't really post like a lot of actual posts on my Instagram, but on my stories, I'll show people like exactly what I'm doing now. Right? I'm not here to help people make millions of dollars. I'm not a millionaire, right? But I ended up making 6 figures within 6 months, right? And I can teach people how to do that. It's not even about the money for me. It's like I understand the power of people not going to work every day and having the time for themselves, right? People are on this hamster wheel. They don't understand that. They're like, oh, I get this check and I don't know, but once you're put in a position where you have to perform, you're going to perform, right? Like,
of course.
You guys could have took the out of like, man, fuck this, the mindset of my life is going to be bullshit, but you didn't, right? And look where you are now. So if people have to understand, man, like it literally starts with your mindset, and it's free. That's the best thing. It's
That's
free.
It.
Like, people don't.
That's the crazy part, right?
What do you have to lose? You won't lose anything.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's why, like, when you guys are saying, like, my motto is I fake it till I make it. Like, you might not, because, like, I'm not trying to show, like, yeah, obviously the situation, obviously it's not fun, but I mean, am I going to sit here and wallow, or am I going to sit there and go out and try to do something and better things? Like,
right.
I have a job now. Instead of going into the field where I spent all this money, got my master's in, instead of going to that, now I'm working with a nonprofit that helps children with disabilities. And I feel like it's much more rewarding. And I feel like, like what you guys just said, I just did it. I was like, you know what?
Let's go ahead.
Yeah. Let's try it. The same thing with the podcast, but we were just like, we were talking because we both kind of wanted to do something, but we both like didn't know if we should pull the trigger. And we chatted on FaceTime one day. We were just like, fuck it, let's do it.
And
do it.
And
it starts, man.
And that's it. You can't, like you said, you just got to get over your own mind.
Yeah, it's like the
get out of your own, just get out of your own way.
People are so engaged in the consequence of what's going to happen, right? Like the kind of, I don't want to do this because this will happen. And I'll give you like a quick story. Even if it's like an opportunity that's right in front of your face. Like there was this girl I know, she just got a new job, probably going to make a lot more money, doing well. All she could think about is, I have to move. And then my parents, I'm like, why you have a great, think about like the positives, right? And it's like, you just have a great opportunity. You just think about everything bad that can happen, right? But people don't know what they don't know, right?
Yeah.
And that's the mindset of people all the time. But when you can like, kind of like us, like, and I'm always going to say us because we understand where we're going with like our whole careers, is like, you have to keep that positive mindset. It doesn't matter where you are. You can be in the shittiest situation, right? And you have to keep the positive mindset. And then when you consistently do it all the time, it's like that's when things keep going up. Like you keep filling other people's cups and it keeps going up. The positive mindset keeps going up. So
yeah, to feed off that, I can actually relate to a lot of things you're saying, because I always tell people that are afraid to like maybe take a step towards like doing something different in their life, where like you really have to understand the mindset of people that have money or are wealthy, is that nobody got there overnight, and they didn't do it the first time and boom, it just happened. You have to fail at things to learn. And I constantly tell people that, and they just look at me like, what do you mean fail? Yes, you have to fail at things. That's the only way to learn and make opportunity grow and go, all right, I fucked up on this next time. I fucked up on this time. Next time I'm going to try this. Do something different. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and
it's the fear of failure, bro. It's the fear of the unknown. Because
let's you got about failure, right? Because
hit me with it.
So I run towards the failure, right? Even the team that I have in like on the Taylor Witt side, like sometimes they'll get nervous to do something. I'm like, just do it. Like if you fail, what's the worst that's going to happen? Taylor Witt will be here tomorrow. Like the best thing that's going to happen is we know what not to do next time. Like we're not doing this shit again, right? So just keep like people take failure as like, oh man, people are going to judge me. Who cares? Like everybody who's successful has to fail. Like everybody. Like LeBron fails. Like Elon Musk, they still fail. They don't even fail small. They fail big.
They fail large.
Like they bounce back.
Billions of dollars big, right? So what's your $1,000 failure? What's your $50 failure? I mean, it's all you have to put in perspective. But people have to understand the failure is literally like the best growth that you can get.
I feel like that should be on a T-shirt.
I mean, it will be. Give it time.
You know what I'm saying?
Out of here, man.
Hey, listen, I'm sure there's going to definitely be some quotes on here that are just going to, don't worry. When we do some editing, we'll get you. We got you, Smooth.
I feel like there's going to be a lot of memes out of a lot of the things that we're talking about. Like, look at these people talking about this crazy, and they'll take it out of context a lot of times, and I'll be like, really?
Hey, listen, you got we're putting ourselves out there, and there's always going to be people doing positives and negatives, and we just got to focus on what we're doing and
that's right.
Reach out. And hopefully what we're doing will inspire, it will help somebody, it'll change somebody's life. And, I already had people, once I posted that video of the little teaser, I had people hit me up. It's like, hey, I got a story to tell. Can I come on the podcast? I'm just like, hey, man. I was like, we'll add you to the list when we get down to the thing. Like, I just felt like, I was like, wow. Yeah. I was like, we didn't even post a first episode yet. We already got, like, I feel like that just makes me feel like what we're doing is
get some barriers.
Got to be in the right direction.
Don't let everybody in, Case Tony, man. Like, have them jump through some hoops and go to.
Oh yeah, no, chill. We got. There's levels to this, Mr. Smooth.
There's definitely levels to this. It's like, there's gotta be people that come on here that are, they have to be entertaining. They have to entertain.
Yeah, we want you to, like, how you. I want to hear the story of Will. I want people to know, like, that you could change your circumstances. You could go for, like you literally just, you put everything and on the side and you were like, you know what, I'm going for this. You moved down to Florida, got your baby. You literally, you left everything, like you've been on the Northeast your whole life. Like, well, you went to Pittsburgh for a couple of years, but that's still Northeast. You left your comfort zone and you left your support system and you went out there and you made a new one. Yep. And that's exactly what I want people. I want to do that one day. You know what I mean? I would love to be able to go out and be like, like Will did it. I'm out. Yeah, like, I feel like
true, man.
I want people to
exactly, and hopefully that's what people could take. Like it's the thing that really sparked like everything is like, once again, it's like the whole mindset thing. But when you put yourself in a position where you have to perform, you're gonna perform. And the thing that was brought to my attention, and I'll give you a funny story. When I moved to Florida, right, I live in a luxury building in downtown Fort Lauderdale, and when I first moved here, I've never, from the Bronx and grew up rough. I've never used a dishwasher. Not to say there's no dishwasher in the Bronx, but I was here and I was asking people questions like, how do you use it? I haven't used this in 4 months. How do you use it? Right? They laughed at me. It kind of humbled me down, but I'm like, I didn't give a fuck. Right? It's cool, but it humbled me down. I don't even know how to use a dishwasher. They're laughing at me. Another situation is like we have a pool here, and people are complaining about a heated pool. Like, oh, this pool's not a heated pool, and because when December comes and we can get in, but it's too cold. And in my head, I'm like, dude, we have a fucking pool. Like, what is it? It's heated or not? I'm like, I didn't even say that. In my head, I'm like, I'm great. So that just goes to show, like, damn, if they're complaining about this, and I think this is like top level, like 10 out of 10 lifestyle, like what else is there to go get, right?
Yeah.
Like the building 2 blocks down probably has a heated pool and all the amenities and makes everybody happy, but that's the level I'm trying to get to. I'm continuously trying to climb and understanding people in that building are still going to complain about bullshit too, right?
People are always going to complain about something.
But that lets you know, and then different levels that I haven't even reached yet. And I'm like, if I got here by hard work, like what else can I do? Right? That's why you always see put up like, hey, I'm gonna get a penthouse and everything. Because I was always putting up, I'm gonna get a Benz, I'm gonna get a Benz, I'm gonna get a Benz. And
you're putting goals out there.
And I end up getting Benz, right? Because
stuff you're striving for. You put it out there. You put it out there in the universe, and you went out there and you did it, and you're doing it.
Yep. I mean, the straight mindset is like easy as like just like you're saying, man. If you want to get to that level, push yourself to that level. Like, that's the only way you're going to get there. You're not going to get there by doing the same stuff you do every day. You're going to have to push yourself. You know what I mean? Go out of your comfort zone. Go do something you never did before, or, take on something that you never did before, stuff like that.
And you never know where it's going to take you either. Like I can honestly, I can quit everything today and go into a new field, and I'm probably going to work harder than the person that's working the hardest and then grow. Like, and it's not going to happen overnight. Like, people have to understand, like, manage your expectations really well. Nothing's going to happen overnight.
Nothing happens overnight.
What I know is that you're not going to outwork me ever.
Yeah.
Right. I want to be the first person in the office, the last person to leave, if the time permits, but nobody's going to ever outwork me. And that's how I got into this industry. Like, I'm not the recruitment industry, in the charter school industry. I'm not the best in the industry, but I know exactly what I want and what our partners want. And I'm going to work harder than anybody in the industry. And I have been. And actually, it wasn't a partnership, but I've seen the infrastructure of 2 different marketing companies, and it's bullshit, right? I'm not going to call them out, but it's bullshit in comparison to what I've done.
Yeah.
And that's I'm not smarter than them. I don't have more experience than them. It's just me working hard, understanding you have to continuously change and keep busting your ass. And these are the type of people who, like, if they don't have the answer, they'll bullshit you like, they'll give you an answer. Like, I'm not that person. Like, Case, if you ask me a question right now, I'm not going to act like, if I don't know the shit, I don't know the shit. But I guarantee I'm going to get you that answer, right? So,
listen, you didn't know how to use a dishwasher, and you found out how to use a goddamn dishwasher, bro. Like,
how do you not learn if you don't ask questions, right?
Exactly. That's the same thing with me and Tony. It's like, you can't, things don't happen overnight. Like, I'm sure when Tony first was injured, when I first was injured, like they tell you, you just gotta grind. Like you can't not work out. Like you have to,
Absolutely.
We have to stay in the gym. We have to stay loose. We have to,
That's right.
we gotta grind every day just to remain healthy. You know what I mean? Like, and that's something that I never thought I would have to do, but
That's your lifestyle now.
circumstances, exactly. Life changes, circumstances change, and you adapt, and you I tackle that shit head on, and
absolutely, man, absolutely.
The results are here. We're doing. I feel like this is gonna be amazing. I feel like we're gonna do some things.
I feel the same way, my friend. Yeah.
I'm excited.
Ready to rock and roll.
So you got some questions. Do you mind if I flip the script here?
Oh, well, flipping.
Yeah, I like it. We're flipping people off right now. Let's go. Let's do this.
These are going to be a tough question for you guys, right? And this is usually what I ask people, especially when I go into like these sales calls. So, like, what's your why? And I'll let Tony start off. Like, what's your why of doing the podcast? Like, what do you want to get out of this? Like, what's your goal after like the 100th podcast? I'm like, all right, this is what we hit. This is the goal that we hit.
What is my why? See, now you hit me on the spot right now.
See, I got time to think. This is cool.
I mean, I would say the short answer would be just to reach that one person that's watching this podcast,
right.
that maybe doesn't know what to do with their life or are afraid to do things out of the ordinary, and watch us grow and say, hey, if they can do it, I sure as hell be able to push myself to do better. And I would say that is the short answer, because if you have me actually think on this, I could probably come back to. So in the next episode, when we bring you back on, I'll think about it and I'll give you a really good answer next time. But that's the short answer.
He's gonna have a little manifesto for you.
No, that was good. And it's better that it's unscripted this way. Like, so I put you on the spot, right? But
I tell Casey all the time. I love like doing organic stuff. Like, I don't like to write things down, because I like the whole interaction between people and like seeing their answer. And it's not a bullshit answer either. It's not something that's written down going, okay, I can read off this book and tell you exactly what I feel, but I'd rather have this. I'd rather have organic talk. And that's what we love about this podcast, because I feel like a lot of it is going to be organic, and I can't wait to see where it goes.
Keep it raw.
That's it.
Well, I guess I'm sorry, you guys probably should have got together for this, but what would be your
I mean, obviously, what Tony said, I agree with that 100%. But I mean, as far as my why, like, I feel like this is something like just being able to talk about. I want to be able to include everybody into the conversation. Like, I want to give the people who don't have voices. Like, because in our situation, people see us and they automatically assume the worst. They assume that, we might have a mental disability. They might assume that, we're lazy. They might assume all these things, or even just anybody. Like, I just want to break down those walls, break down the barriers. I just want people to see us for what we are. And we're just people. We're just people trying to live just like anybody else. Like, we got goals, we have dreams. And I feel like if I could spread that out so somebody could see me in that, being vulnerable and let myself out there, I feel like that can help somebody, like Tony said, like that one person break out of their shell to, who knows, maybe start it. They see this, they're like, oh, you know what? I've been wanting to start a company. I've been having this idea. And then they see this episode, they see us talking to you, and then like, yo, this guy he just did it. Like Casey and Tony, they just did it. They just started the podcast. They just like, fuck it. Like, what do you got to lose?
Right.
If it sucks if it doesn't work out, but you just got to learn from what that was and then see what the next venture is.
Right. So you put all pretty much, right? So you want to motivate someone else to be exactly.
I'm here.
That's exactly.
I feel like when I first got hurt, I didn't want to, like, everybody used to say, "Oh, you're an inspiration." I'm like, I don't want to be an inspiration. I just want to live my life.
Yep.
Like, I didn't want. But then, like, as I got, I'm about to hit a decade. I'm about to be double digits in my years of my second life. And I just feel like now, like, if I can use whatever I'm doing, the platform I'm at, to inspire one person, I love it.
Right, right.
Like if I can help somebody do something, I kind of embrace what people say to me now about the inspiration stuff. Like now I don't get angry. Like now I'm like, you know what? I'm like, you know, maybe this could be a good thing. Maybe, you know, like I'm glad I'm helping Will. Will's at the gym. I'm happy that I'm able to inspire Will to hit that extra rep, hit that extra mile, you know, get that extra client or whatever you're going to do.
Right. And
so
it's different too.
That's
right?
my
So
why.
when people kept telling you that, it was like it's new for you. Like, oh, I'm inspiring you.
No,
why?
I'm like,
But if you
what am I?
continuously hear it, it has to be true, right?
Yeah.
And then
I'm like, I used
to cringe at the word inspire. Like, oh, you inspired me to do this. I'm just like, okay. I'm glad I can inspire you, but I don't feel like an inspiration. I really don't. I just feel like me. I know I made it through a surgery that put me in a wheelchair, but I'm still living, and I'm glad I'm living. Like I don't feel inspiring to anybody. I'm just doing what I was meant to do, man, and just keep living, man.
Right. And look where you are now with the podcast, man. So I'm telling you, it's going to grow. It's going to grow. I believe in it. You'll see.
I hope so, man. I hope so.
Cut it out.
Big celebrity.
You need to stop it.
Stop it, Will. Stop it. Okay, Kiara, keep going.
Keep telling me. Yes. Oh my God, we're such attention horse.
Oh yeah. I mean,
it's all good though. It's all love.
That's been since day one. Casey came out the womb wanting attention. So my family could attest to that. And I'm sure my sister probably listened to that laughing right now because all I wanted was attention growing up. I used to put on shows just to make people look at me. But
all of us with
this is
siblings.
I know. And then after you with the injury, I went from wanting that attention to I didn't want anybody looking at me when I first got hurt.
Yeah, man.
Right.
And now now look, now I'm putting all my marbles out here to let everybody see Casey in all different shapes and sizes, all my ups, my downs, my flaws. I'm putting myself out there.
Everything.
But there has to be some type of
leadership
that comes with it too, right? Like there has to be a point where it's like, all right, I know who I am. I know what I've been through. Let me just own that I'm inspiring different people and kind of like lean into it. Because I was the same way. Like, man, I used to be on social media a lot before my situation happened. And after that, it's like, I don't really want to. Right. So you understand, like
all day.
Like, over 1 million views on YouTube. I was doing really well in and out of labels, speaking of A&Rs. But after my situation, it's like I got to this point where I was like paranoid. I don't want anybody to know where I am. Like even to this day, I'll go somewhere. I wouldn't even post where I'm at until like I leave. Right. But there has to be a point where you have to like lean into people saying, oh, yeah, you inspired me and everything. And then once again, you take action. And then now you have the podcast. And now people can actually tune into what you have to say. Right. So now people have to eat their words. And like, hey, you said that I inspire you. You have to check it out.
This is the result of it. Just saying.
If I'm that inspiring, click play.
I know, right? Make sure you follow us, though. You know what I mean?
I'm glad how this turned out here.
I am too, man. Oh. Good stuff. Good first episode. I love this. This is good vibes, man. I like this.
Yeah, man.
Good vibes.
So,
grow too.
Anything, and then also, hopefully, maybe down the line, maybe we'll get Will Smooth to come out of retirement, drop a couple lines, maybe hit us with a little outro we can put on.
Ooh,
and
right.
You never know. I'll play you some songs, Tony. What's got some heat? I remember. Listen, I was full-fledged member of the Wasco movement. I was at shows with Will. I was taking Will to rocking. We had events, so we were Hot 97.
Good time.
We were
the music.
We were out.
Life, man.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Tony, I can honestly say, and I hear this a lot, that if I, in case you probably know, if I would have stuck with the music for probably like another, let's say 12, 16 months, I probably would have been famous right now, most likely, because the direction everybody's going on YouTube and XYZ is like, I should have just this for a little bit longer, but I let go.
I feel like you were a little before the time of this.
Absolutely, I hear that a lot.
Like that music movement, because the way you were putting out hits, like if that would have been when it's like YouTube, TikTok, all that kind of stuff, it would have just taken off. It would have been different. This world that we live in now, it's too much.
Well, wait a minute. Who's to say you can't do that again? Who's to say that you can't keep going?
See what you did.
That goes back to
who's telling you this stuff? Because didn't we just talk about
You see what
push
you
your
did,
ass
Smoke?
to do better. And you know, you got this job going, you got this whole life going, but yo, man, it's your passion. I can see it, I can hear it. Why not touch upon it again, man?
Hey, you guys might bring me back in the game, man. So we'll see how this goes.
I mean, I hope so, man. Why not, right?
Bring me
Hey,
back
we
in the
say
game.
we're here to inspire, baby.
Yeah, but I'll
But
have to give you something. Give me I got to get me a studio and give you like 30 seconds in the intro, and then we'll figure it out.
yeah,
Yeah, man. That's
it,
what we're looking for, man. You're looking for some love in the beginning. That's all. And like you said, an extra, you know, and then
outro,
get the outro,
intro,
the little exit
little,
stuff too.
you know, it will do a little interlude, stop an episode. Yo, it will hit us
Hey,
with
dude,
something.
man, I can't wait till you guys like stop the podcast. I'm like, okay, this is a sponsorship by so and so.
Oh.
Listen, I'm about to sign us off, and that's how I already got a shout out. We already got a sponsor. We got a shout out. Sponsor. We got one sponsor so far, baby.
Yeah, man.
We are dipping the toes in the right pool.
Hey,
But I feel like, hey, I just want to say thank you to Will Rodriguez, and you'll see his socials will be in the bio and the link and all that stuff that we post. And you guys go follow him, check him out. You guys have any questions for him? Any questions for us, Casey and Tony? And I just want to thank our sponsors, Seven Bros Apparel, for creating that beautiful logo of ours. And you're going to see some future stuff coming down, some merch, some little backdrops. They're hooking us up. And I just want to say thanks to them. And thank you guys for tuning in to the first episode of Sitting Tall. And my name is Casey Ellen.
And my name is Tony Chamberlain.
And we are
Sitting tall, baby.